Middle of the Pack podcast.
Yeah, actually something I should have mentioned. But anyway, Inga Britson, they were asking about, in training, what's really important. The key session, like the interval on the track or the build up the mileage. He said the build up the mileage. He said it's too easy to fake a key session, whether like you can't fake running 100 kilometers in a week.
Welcome to episode 42 of the Middle of the Pack podcast. And there you heard Sean Lucey, my guest for this week, talking about one of the most important things that he was getting across to us during this week's episode about getting mileage on your feet. Really important to improve your times, as you'll hear from the wonderful words of wisdom we had from Sean throughout this week's episode. As always on the Middle of the Pack podcast, we start the episode by asking Sean how he got into running, and let's take it up from there. Welcome to episode 42 of the Middle of the Pack podcast.
I was playing soccer for years with Lakewood, and I kind of gave up in college because part-time job and trying to do my electrical engineering degree. And I kind of stopped all sports, doing five-a-side, and that was it. And on my first job, I was sent away to the UAE. There was a big oil and gas plant down a race. It was about an hour outside Abu Dhabi. And I met about Jamie and Murphy.
As you do in the, United.
Oh yeah, this is it. Like that's the thing. Like in our kind of house, there was a fella from London who was obsessed talking about his Range Rover. There was two lads from Sri Lanka, and oh my God, the food those lads could make was the most amazing thing ever. But of course, all the lads then from Limerick and Cork and everything out in the UAE, everyone was talking about hurling and how they could have made it, but now they have to make money for the wife and kids and blah 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 and all the sad sob stories. But no, like he started running because he said like you'll go insane, you'll start seeing things and all this kind of crack, and you have to do something. And look where we are. We're in the middle of nowhere because we were like on the Saudi Arabia border, like we were near a bloody army camp. So like they had a big massive loop. So that's what I used to do, a 4K 3 nights a week in 30-degree heat at 8 o'clock at night when it was nearly gone dark, because that was the coolest time to run. And I came back, I think this was around, God, trying to get the date right now, June, July 2014. And my buddy was like, oh my gosh, like I'm doing this race with a big group of friends trying to do it. And I was like, a race? I was like, yeah, like a 5K. I was like, oh, I don't know, all I can do is run 4K. Like, I don't think I could run 5. Like, and he was like, but you were running 4K in sand in the heat. Surely you can do 5K. It's only a round off artists. It'll be grand. And I did that race. I finished top 300 out of 600. And oh my God, I absolutely loved it. I like the buzz, like, and especially like coming into the last bit and like trying to take so many people on the line. And I just thought it was fantastic. And I kind of stuck to the 5Ks. And I think around 2015, then I started progressing and started doing 10 miles. I signed up for the Cork City Half Marathon and I did an hour 45. And I said, God, I'm getting good at this. Like maybe I could join a running club. And I think it was November 2015, I'd say it could have been, that I joined Eagle AC. And then I signed up to do the Cork Marathon. I did 3 hour 50. And I did Dublin Marathon same year. I did 3 hour 51. And I got obsessed then with times, and I started getting too much into it. I started in Taekwondo, tag rugby, and I'd say somewhere around March or April 2017 is where it just came to an incredible halt. We were playing a tag rugby final, and a girl was about to score a try against our team. And as you might know, I have a good sprint in me, so I sprinted up the pitch, caught her tag, but whatever way I fell over, something just went pop in my stomach.
Oh.
And I'm like, oh God, that's not good. I didn't even want to get up. I'm like, I've never felt this before. What's after happening? And it was now trying to do track training, Taekwondo, 5-a-side soccer and tag rugby was probably a recipe for disaster. They should put that in a t-shirt. But I could barely get up. I could barely walk to the car. And I'm like, I'm in serious trouble now. I went into a physio and they were like, give up the running anyway, because you're after doing major damage. You've probably torn a core muscle. And I'd say the rest of 2017 was a write-off. I think I signed up to a half and was in absolute agony doing it. Blowing Waterford, it was the December one. And I kind of got into 2018 and it was like starting all over again. Because all the fitness I'd put.
And tell me, give up the running while you were recovering, or they?
Oh yeah, no.
Okay.
Like he said, you're probably talking 3 months without ever even running 2 or 3K. He said, like, go walking, go cycling, but if you run or even if you do a race, you're very tender at the moment, you could pop it again. Because
Jesus.
he was making me do a load of strength work. And he said, honestly, it's like a fella who's never lifted a weight in his life. He said, you're very weak. Like, I don't mean to be saying that to you, but, it's like, you need major recovery here. Like, now he said, I don't think you've done anything bad because you can stand up, you can jump, whatever. But he said, your strength just seems to be absent. And he said, that's why it's a core muscle. You just, your core is effectively not working for you at the moment. Like, strength, and you need so much core strength to run
Yeah.
that's why he'd say give up the running for a while. And I did. I took months out, like, but yeah, so 2018 I was kind of starting all over again. And 2019 then I think was December, and I think I did the Clonakilty half marathon with a couple of friends. I went over in New York, and I was there with my family. Went off for a walk my own, then sat down with a cup of coffee, and I said, whatever happens next year, whatever next year throws at me, I'm going to take it. I'm going to get back to where I was. Because I was keep thinking about 2016. I did an hour 36 in the Killarney half marathon. I said, I'm going to get back there, whatever I have to do. And then COVID happened,
Oh no.
and I couldn't race anymore. So I was like, whoops, maybe I shouldn't have the brave speech over New York to myself. But it was, do you know what? I think COVID, it kind of gave me a thing of patience as well, because there was no races. So all you could do was easy running, easy cycling, and slowly it built up again, because even in 2019, like, I felt that injury coming back as well. Like, I never really felt right, even like 2018. I went back running in 2019, I did a lot, but I just never felt that full kind of power I knew I had.
Yeah.
But all the easy running during COVID just seemed to kind of get back, and I was thinking things are happening here. And I remember 2021, the Killarney half marathon, whenever that was on, I did an hour 45, and I was over the moon. I thought, we're building something here. I still didn't feel I was back to where I was, but it was definitely 2022, and I'm going to give you a bit of inspiration now. 2022, I did the Limerick 6 mile, and it was the one that gave all my confidence back. Now, a lot of people will say it's probably the mocking of Siobhan, but Siobhan messing with my head and trying to cheer me up and be like, you'll get those days again, boy, and all this kind of thing. And I remember going into 6 mile, and in fairness to Siobhan, like, she's a great person for giving encouragement. And I remember going up to the Limerick 6 mile and going, maybe she's right. Maybe those days will come back. And maybe today, I don't know what it was it the people of Limerick or what? It was a good day. And I just said, you know what, no, race this. Really, really go for this. And I finished the race. I think my last mile was like in 7 minutes. And I averaged like 7:30, and I hadn't done that in about 6 years, like, and it just was the biggest confidence boost ever. I remember going back to the car, and I was looking in the rear view mirror, and I could actually see I wasn't bawling my eyes out, no, but I was getting a bit emotional, thinking, Jesus, am I back? Jesus, can we go again? Like, is that 1 hour 36 beyond me? And it just kept kind of leveling up from that. Like, I go to the next race and do well in the next race, and suddenly PB came in 2023, because I signed up to the Amsterdam Marathon 22. That was around October, and I did 3 hour 32, and I couldn't believe it. I was like, Jesus, like, training is going well, and just slowly, like, and as I said, the patience was built up from COVID, and I just kept tipping away. And I remember Jack Murphy texting me before I did the Waterford, because I said that was the one that I kind of went back to, even though I was injured. And I said, you know what, go back to the Waterford see one now. One last dance, one last go to PB. And I remember Jack Murphy texted me, and he's like, go for the PB now. And I said, no, I just need to get close to 1 hour 36. I'd even take 1 hour 38, 39. And I went into it and did 1 hour 35. And I was just like going, I can't believe this. Like, I finally back at 2016 level, like, doing this kind of running, and I was just over the moon. And I think it's just confidence boost after confidence boost, but it's trusting the training, and it's kind of realizing you don't always have to go out there and kill yourself. Like, I was
Yeah.
saying to a lot of lads there at track, there's a load of new people joining Eagle, and I said, look, lads, I've been the same thing. Like, I've had a lifetime of playing soccer, and it was go hard or go home, or no pain, no gain, and that's a load of rubbish. Like, you have to do the easy stuff. Like, you can't just flip and go out and flip in 400-meter beats and go out and do a race and try and PB every single kilometer. And, like, the easy stuff, like, slow and steady does really win the race.
But it's funny because that's what we all kind of do without being involved in a club or without having any information. You kind of go out and run a good 5K, and then the next time you just want to beat that 5K time. And
Oh, but
but
yeah,
that it's kind of human nature because, as you say, maybe that's the way we were brought up playing GA or playing soccer or playing other sports. It's you got to do better the next time, kind of thing.
yeah. Dead right, because like GA is the same thing. Like like they'd be roaring at you. You gotta want it, like, and you have to like kill the fella next to you and all this kind of thing. And I don't know. I work so some people, I suppose, like it's when you're young. I suppose it's all you know is like your coach is shouting at you in line, and you have to go to war and all this kind of thing. But like I think as you get older, you start kind of going. You have to mind yourself and you have to be smart.
Yeah,
And I know what you're saying about the 5K, and they be like one of the lads in Eagle now. Connor was like, "Oh, I'll be annoyed now if I don't PB and bring." And I say, Connor, even if you don't, that race becomes a stepping stone to your next 5K. Don't be going home on the car beating yourself up because you missed it by a second or you missed it by a minute. There's always another race, and I think like we're very bad for kind of wanting it now.
yeah, for sure.
You know, you don't
Uh,
want go on.
the interesting thing for me is what you were saying about taking it slow and doing the easy runs and doing the recovery runs. That's the thing that you get from being in a club, isn't it? Or having a coach or having someone of experience come alongside you. And that's what everyone needs, really, isn't it?
Yeah. But I think that's the thing I really love about Eagle AC. We don't have a coach. We have about 50 of them because like there's so much experience in that club.
and let
And like
let me just point out right at this stage, you are the male captain for Eagles. Just while you're bigging it up, like I just need to come in and say that. And Siobhan Holland, who you were talking about, then she was the ladies' captain, or is the ladies' captain, isn't that right?
that's correct, yeah. Or some people like to say she's the main captain and I'm second in commander.
And do,
She's the boss.
and do you feel like that?
No, not at all, because Siobhan respects me, unlike, about half the fucking men in the club who want to, constantly rile me up and say I'm not doing a good job and all this. But I will just note on the podcast as well that after all the mocking and the shaming and everything, people did vote me to be club person of the year. So maybe it's all hogwash by them all.
Yeah, no, I am a member of Eagle as well, so I have particularly recently understood that there is a lot of banter and you do need to be a little bit thick-skinned, but it's always good spirits though, and particularly at the track. And you're right, there's always good advice, really, isn't there?
Oh, it's fantastic. Yeah, like the one thing you got to know when you're joining Eagle is there's a lot of banter. Like a lot of people like just have the jokes, but I think when you're out there and you're running your long runs and you're training for a marathon, you kind of have to have the lads singing the songs and cracking the jokes and everything. Because like when you're out for 2 and 3 hours running, you need something to kind of break the ice as well.
Yeah, yeah. One of the things my coach was kind of saying to me is I need to be quicker on my easy runs. I know that's going slightly against what we were saying, but it's not hugely faster pace, but just upping the pace a little bit. And one of the things that I find, like even this morning, Sunday morning, for those that are listening on a Wednesday, there's a big group goes out and you can establish a pace with people when you're talking to people, or even if you're just running with people, you naturally go a little bit quicker, don't you? Without burning out or anything stupid like that. And they're all the advantages that you get from being in a club.
Oh, absolutely, hugely. But like I think as well, like as long as you're doing the mileage, like there's been a few people now kind of getting on to me about building up the mileage. A lot of people are on 50 trying to get to 60, and a lot of people are on 60 trying to get to 70. Like every little helps. Like if you're on 50K and you can't get to 60, throw a 5K walk in. Like a lot of the time, it could be a simple thing, a time on feet.
Yeah,
Like unless you're trying to go for some bloody national record or something, obviously, it becomes a lot more kind of detailed, and you really have to be hitting interval sessions, and you do a long run, then you're putting a session into that. But I think if you're just trying to like improve your marathon time, trying to get that mileage up, and even like a hike would change it up as well. Like it's all about just building the legs, and you don't always have to do that. Like a lot of people do one speed session a week, and it's enough from. Like I did the track Tuesday, and that's the only fast run I do.
and tell me, you're doing the Cork full or half this year?
I'm doing the half marathon.
What's your hopes? What will make you cry in the mirror if you achieve a time?
I always cry in the mirror. I kind of do it a lot lately because of all the PBs. But like I'm kind of over where I thought I'd be because you see, my plan was like I know you should never take it because like marathons could go completely against you. There's no maths, but a lot of the time, the double your half plus 10 minutes is thereabouts. So like I was thinking, if I can get under 125 in Cork, that would put me in a good place to try and get possibly go for the Dublin Marathon, try to break three. But in Limerick, I surprised myself going that bit stronger, and I got 123.55. So in Cork, I'm going to try and go for under 123 and see how close I can get to it.
And that's brilliant. So in how many years have you, because you did 135, 136 at your peak, and now you've gone down to 123.
Or like sometimes I'd be looking at Strava and I'm like, that's not my Strava at all. Who's this fast person? Because like as I said, a load of years were just kind of thinking, can I get, back to, I think it was 2030 was my 5K PB at the time. 1 hour 36 was the half. And I said, all I want in life is to get back to that moment. And I remember driving home in the car from Limerick kind of going, this is getting a bit ridiculous. I'm not this fast. Like it's just mad. But I suppose it's about trusting the training. And like some people will say like, I can't run slow or it's boring, but I'm like, you have to do the simple stuff. Even the strength work and even something like stretching. The amount of people that just dislike stretching, but like I have to do it. After
Before
it,
or after?
I think, well, you should be doing it before and after, but I only do it after. But I think if I'm doing a 5K race now in Bring, and I got into the car and drove home, I'd be crippled. I have
Yeah.
to stretch before I go home, and then the body is good to run the next day.
So what do you put, you're putting the speed work, the improvement in your times, you're putting that down to doing speed work once a week and then concentrating a lot of time on slower, easier runs, is it?
I would say more the slower, easier runs. Like I used to always be a big believer in like, Jesus, you have to get 2 or 3 track sessions kind of in, but like, no, absolutely not. Like I've always benefited from trying to build the mileage. And like in Valencia last year, it was the first time I did a marathon and I actually recovered well from it. And I was able to race a few weeks later. Like usually after the marathon, I'm absolutely crippled walking back to the hotel and I'm just like, oh, maybe I'm not strong enough. But like, it's all like I did a lot of easy mileage last year. I think I did 2,800 kilometers or something. And I'd say a lot of that was just mileage week to week. I think I was doing 80 kilometers, 85 up to 93. I think I peaked at 102 kilometers in a week before Valencia. And I don't even think there was much track training in the last few weeks, you know.
And the
And,
majority was easy running.
and the majority was, well, what I'd find easy running, like
Yeah, but within your pace. So whether somebody,
within my pace is right, yeah.
yeah, so whether someone's doing a 30-minute 5K or a 25-minute 5K or a 20-minute 5K, it's their easy runs will up the
Exactly.
mileage.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like I always be saying to some of the friends like Jack and Alan, like the Siobhan Holland, Martin Lynch training plan is what works. Because I was always like, how are they always like years ago miles ahead of me? Because I'm like, they never come to track. They're never doing speed sessions. All they do is run and race, and it makes no sense. But that's why they were so good, because they do a lot of mileage. They do a lot of kind of like they'd be going for a chat when they'd be going running, and then they race and they just hit phenomenal times. And I just couldn't work it out. But like, I mean, it was there on Strava for all to see. Like, they were just running a lot of miles. And when it comes to the race, then they're able to perform. And the most important thing, over all the miles, they can recover. And recover is the whole point of it. Like, the more
Yeah.
miles you're doing, the more racing you can do, the more running you can do.
And tell me what kind of miles or kilometers are you doing at the moment in the build up to Cork? We're only 2 weeks out now, are we?
I'm kind of getting to the state now. I've kind of dropped it because I've done a lot of races in the past few weeks. But usually I'm on 80K a week. And like even I'm dropping back because I'm doing 5Ks and half marathons all, but I'm still hitting around 60K. And like I'd find 60K now for me kind of being on low miles because
Yeah.
I'm getting used to now. Like after Cork now, it'll be all marathon planning and I'll be right up to 80K again and I'll try to get higher. So like the closer I get to Dublin, I'll be hitting a few 90-kilometer weeks before starting the taper.
And what is your carbon plated shoe of choice when you're running the Cork Marathon?
I tell you something now, it's the love of my life really. The Meta Speed guys, like ASICs, they just know everything. Like I absolutely think like they just have the market sussed. I know like there's the Adidas Pro and so many people wear them and they're brilliant. There's a photo Graham took of me and it's absolutely fantastic. So over in the Valencia Marathon, there's about 20 people in the photo with me. Half of them have Metaspeed Skies and half of them had Adidas Pro Forest.
So
And I think that's,
they're the two big ones now at the moment, aren't they?
yeah, like I know a lot of people now are buying the Puma Fast R's for the kind of short distance speed. I know a lot of people have them. But like any kind of long distance race, I'd be looking around and it's the two of those. Like, but I'd be listening to Ian O'Brien, actually, very good podcast there by Ian O'Brien and yourself.
Thank you.
But the Super Blast are something else. They're
Yeah.
just the ultimate runner. Like you can literally do. I'd say I'll do a race in them at some stage because like I'd be tired now after a race and I put them on and it's like I didn't even race. You know, there's just such a stack of form. There's such comfort. Like they can do a recovery run, an easy run, an interval session, a long run. They're absolutely fantastic. I think everyone should buy a pair, to be honest.
You're not sponsored by ASICS in any way, are you?
No, I'm not. I'm not. If they're listening to this, please sponsor me.
Yeah.
Um,
He's the captain of Eagle, and yeah. Um,
yeah.
and what about fueling? What's your strategy? Or,
Precision fuel.
all right. And how many gels will you take for a 1 hour 30?
Usually I have a gel before the half, and I take one at 7K and one at 14K.
And do you take caffeine gels?
No,
So you've just driven the will to hit the
the
line
will to
quicker.
succeed.
Yeah. Very good.
I'm fueled on hopes and dreams.
So you will take one pre-race as well.
I don't know, is that thing stuck in my head or does it really work? But I nearly take a gel before every race now. Before Ballantoda's 4 mile, I took a gel. Before the national school race, I took a gel. I just have a thing now that like it'll just give me an advantage. Whether it is or it's not, it's in my head that it does. And because I've had some good times, I do it all the time now.
Yeah, I mean, I would definitely like if I was going for a PB and I was really going to race a race that I would take a caffeine gel beforehand, and that I think works. But I think there is an element, as you just said, there's an element if you think it works, then it probably is working. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Or it could be all in my head, like, but you know what? As you say, it's working, so I'm not going to change it.
Yeah, for sure. And so you think normal gels are giving well, I suppose they do give you the advantage in that if you're burning carbs and things, you're taking carbs pre the race. So that's probably one of the advantages, particularly for the longer runs, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely. Like another thing, actually, in Valencia, because I'm always starting to do more of kind of like changing things up, even though some people say never change anything on the race day. But I started using Tailwind when I go cycling now, just a sachet in each bottle of water. And I don't know why, but I got so nervous with Valencia, and I was like, do you know what? No, I'll just drink a whole bottle of Tailwind before the race, and it'll be grand. And I'd say I had 700 ml of water and the Tailwind before the start of Valencia, and all I thought is, if I have to go to the toilet now, that was one stupid mistake. But I did the rest, did the norm then, like a gel before the race, a gel every 4 miles, and I took an electrolyte tablet every 10K, and I did a 10-minute PB in Valencia for the marathon.
And is Tailwind just a drinks mix, or is it
It's a drink mix, yeah.
so it's not caffeinated, or it's not like a pre-workout thing or anything?
No, it's just like electrolyte sachet in the water.
Oh yeah, well that's what they would recommend before, like on the morning of a race, is to take a no Precision. We had the guy from Precision on, and he recommended that on the morning of the race. So, but your stomach was used to Tailwind because you use it cycling, so it wasn't that mad or stupid.
Oh, well, no, I suppose like I'd be drinking water anyway. I just decided, you know what, if it helps the cycling, it can only help the running as well. Like, so I had that as well. But the usual kind of fueling strategy of a marathon with the gel and the time I take it as well. So nothing really changed, only instead of water, it was electrolytes.
So, as captain of Eagle, what kind of advice would you, not to Eagle members, but to anyone that's thinking about joining a club or anyone that's thinking about just improving their times and
I suppose the biggest thing is make friends.
yeah,
Like, like we have a mighty group there that meets every weekend, and you know, like I think you really have to ask the questions and don't be afraid of asking questions. Like I went in with the old age thing of go hard or go home, and I had one good year and I injured myself, and I was plagued with injuries for years. So slow and steady, like,
Yeah.
just slowly tip away and everything helps. Like I hear a lot of people join the club and they be getting worried and they're like, oh, I only do 15K, I only do 20K. And I'm like, that's brilliant. Like no one comes into the club and they're like, oh, I ran with the Kenyans and I do 100K a week and I have a coach. And a lot of people that be joining are kind of new to it, or a lot of people join that did a different sport. But like, go in and ask the questions. Like that's what running clubs are there for. Like every running club in Cork has members who can ask all questions, and we have all people that have done everything from a 100 meter to an ultra marathon. So I think the advice is there. Don't be afraid to ask.
Yeah. And it's not intimidating. That's the thing that I find or found, because I would have been worried that I wasn't good enough or I wasn't fast enough or I wasn't capable enough. And you never feel like that, even in the track sessions, which is one of the things that would intimidate people. And
But I think what you're feeling is what a lot of the reason people won't join a club. This I'm not good enough. You were always good enough, and
yeah,
that's the thing you really have to drive home. Like none of us came into a club and we were a serious athlete. Like everyone has to start from somewhere. Like if you look back on Facebook far enough, and you'll see the baggy shorts and the baggy t-shirt, and I think I ran my first half marathon with a packet of Haribo Star Mix. I knew nothing about fueling. I was like, actually, have water on the course, I'll be fine. So like, it's all a learning curve. Like even me, I'm constantly still messing up stuff. I'm still doing silly things and injuring myself, but like we're all learning. So whether you're someone with 10, 20 years experience or you're someone new to running, you're always learning.
yeah, I find that I think there's often a, a lot of people feel, that if they're not running long enough or if they don't have the expertise, then they shouldn't be mingling with club people. But the more people that I get people asking me questions, and I haven't been running for that long, but you still learn, don't you? You'll always learn. You keep on learning.
Oh, but this is it. Like, because I mean, I suppose as you kind of do different things, and like as I said, like there's some people doing ultra marathons, and I was asking Alan about his fueling strategy, and it's mad the things people are capable of, and it kind of shows as well, you know, what can be achieved. Like there's some members in our club there that have done unbelievable stuff, and people are like, "Oh, I'll never get to that level." But like, here's the thing: you could always ask that person how they got there. You know, there's
Uh,
there's so many different training plans to follow. We've so many different members, and you will be absolutely surprised where you can get to. It's just a bit of belief and a bit of patience with the training.
And how do you go about joining Eagles or
I'm
Eagle
terrible.
AC?
I'm terrible. I tell everyone message the Facebook page or the Instagram page, or else I'll see you Tuesday night at 7 o'clock at the track.
But you can just come along, can't you, on Tuesday night?
But that's the thing I always loved, that there's a thing now, it's gone off the website, I think, but there was a thing of try us out twice and see if you like us. And I think, in fairness, just come along and try it out. And don't be thinking like, oh, I'm not quick enough or whatever. The most important thing you should do is, whether you do the whole session or half the session, wait around to the end and just have the chats, because it's the chats at the end of the track is where I found most of my advice. It's where people are talking about upcoming races. It's where people are talking about their fuel. Like basically, it's like a mini podcast. Really, you'll get all
Oh,
the information if you listen for the 5 minutes after the track session, because
maybe I
that's
should.
where people are at. Oh, this is it. You should record us all now at the end of the next track session. We'll
Yeah,
get
yeah.
great content.
Live from the Eagle AC track session.
This is
Yeah,
it. Yeah, now have to get out.
brilliant. Listen, Sean, thank you for your time and your advice and your encouragement, because as our captain, I know they give you a hard time. I do find you very encouraging on occasions, like. And when you talk about going back a few years for baggy shorts and baggy tops, I thought that's what you wear all the time now, still.
Ah, well, it's become fashionable now, you see, so it's the norm.
Yeah, yeah, very good. So thanks for coming on and thanks for your knowledge and good luck in Cork.
Thank you very much, and thanks for having me.
No
Take care.
problem. And that was episode 42 of the Middle of the Pack podcast. And thank you to Sean Lucey for giving his time over and being a wonderful guest this week. As you heard throughout that, Sean is the male captain of Eagle AC, a club that I'm a member of. And there are many people like Sean in the club that are quite happy to share their advice and share their experience with you. I'm sure that's the case with any club. So if you are out there and you're wondering if you should join your local club, just take the plunge. You won't regret it, and you'll see the improvement. So that was episode 42 of the Middle of the Pack podcast. So for this week, thanks for listening and keep on running.